Polar and exponential form of a complex number. A complex number can be expressed in three different forms. The general form of a complex number is z equal to x plus iy, and this is called as writing the complex number in Cartesian form. The same thing if we write it as z equal to r cos theta plus I sin theta, then this is called as polar form. And the same thing if we write it as r equal to e power I theta, then this is exponential form. This polar form quickly leads us to an elegant geometrical interpretation of the multiplication of complex numbers. Suppose if you have two complex numbers, z1 equal to r1 cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1 and z2 equal to r2 cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. Suppose if you are given with two complex numbers, z1 equal to r1 cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1 and z2 equal to r2 cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. Now to multiply z1 and z2, that is r1 and r2 can be multiplied, r1 into r2, then cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1 multiplied by cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. So this r1 r2 is in multiplication. Now this cos theta multiplied with cos theta 1. Cos theta 1 multiplied by cos theta 2. Now the two complex numbers z1 equal to r1 cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1 and z2 equal to r2 cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. Now if you multiply these two complex numbers z1 and z2, we just multiply this r1 and r2, we get it over here. Then cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1, cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. So when we multiply, we just write it as it is. This cos theta 1 and cos theta 2 you multiply, you get the real part. This I term with this I term we multiply, we get a real part. So we first find the real parts. So I squared into I squared is minus 1. So it will be minus sin theta 1 sin theta 2. Then this term along with this, you multiply, you get the imaginary part. This second term with the first term, we get the imaginary part. So I is in common. So we get it as cos theta 1 sin cos theta 1 and sin theta 2. Then plus this one is sin theta 1 cos theta 2. So now r1 into r2 into cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. That will be equal to cos A plus B. So theta 1 plus theta 2. Plus I, this is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B will give us sin A plus B. So it is sin theta 1 plus theta 2. So to multiply two complex numbers in polar form, we just multiply their magnitudes and we are adding up the arguments. So similar thing when we do. Suppose if it is z1 divided by z2, then we divide r1 divided by r2 and then we subtract the arguments. Theta 1 minus theta 2 plus I sin theta 1 minus theta 2. For multiplication, we add the arguments and for division, we subtract the arguments. So this leads us to an important fact that z1 multiplied by z2, that is magnitude of z1 multiplied by magnitude of z1. Magnitude of z1 multiplied by z2 will be equal to magnitude of z1 multiplied by magnitude of z2. An argument of z1 multiplied by z2 will be equal to argument of z1 plus argument of z2. Similarly, magnitude of z1 over z2 will be equal to magnitude of z1, the same z, divided by magnitude of z2. In the same way, argument of z1 over z2 will be equal to argument of z1 minus argument of z2. These two are the very important facts in polar form of complex numbers. The first question, write 8 plus 8 root 3i in polar form and exponential form. That is, we are given with z equal to 8 plus 8 root 3i. So magnitude of z will be equal to square root of 8 square plus 8 root 3 the whole square. So when we use the calculator and simplify, it gives us 16. In the same way, argument of z will be equal to tan inverse of y over x. That is 8 root 3 over 8. So it will be equal to tan inverse of root 3. That is equal to pi over 3. So to write it in polar form, z will be equal to magnitude is 16. This is our value for r, and cos pi by 3 plus I sin pi by 3. Now in the exponential form, z will be equal to r is 16 e to the power of pi by 3. The second question, given that z1 equal to 10 cos 2 pi by 7 plus I sin 2 pi by 7 and z2 equal to 2 cos 9 pi by 14 plus I sin 9 pi by 14. Find z1 multiplied by z2 and z1 divided by z2. The first one, z1 multiplied by z2. So we just multiply their magnitude. So 10 into 2, and then we add the arguments for multiplication. So cos of 2 pi over 7 plus 9 pi over 14 plus I sin 2 pi over 7 plus 9 pi over 14. So when we simplify this, we get it as 20 cos 2 pi plus 9 pi. This is 4 pi over 14. So it will give us 13 pi over 14 plus I sin 13 pi over 14. Now the B part, z1 divided by z2. That will be equal to this divided the magnitude. Then the arguments we subtracted. Cos of 2 pi over 7 minus 9 pi over 14 plus I sin 2 pi over 7 minus 9 pi over 14. So this is 5 cos of minus 5 pi over 14 plus I sin minus 5 pi over 14. Cos of minus theta will be equal to cos theta, but sin of minus theta will be equal to minus sin theta. So using this, we can just write this as cos of minus will give us only a positive answer. So it is cos 5 pi by 14, and this one will give minus. So we write take the minus in front. So I sin 5 pi over 14. The third question, the complex number z1 equal to 12 cos 5 pi by 6 minus I sin 5 pi by 6 and z2 equal to 4 cos beta minus I sin beta. Given that real part of the z2 will equal to 2 root 2 and 0 less than or equal to beta less than or equal to pi by 2. Find magnitude of z1 multiplied by z2. Find argument of z1 divided by z2. Then plot z1 divided by z2 on an organ diagram. So now in order to do this, the first A part we'll solve. That is the A part. Modulus z1 multiplied by z2 will be equal to modulus z1 multiplied by modulus z2. That is modulus z1 is 12 and then this is a 4 given over here. So it will give us an answer of 48. Then for the B part, z1 is given as this one and z2 is given as this. So now we need to find, and the real part of z2 is 2 root 2. So now our real part of z2 is given as 2 root 2. That means when we compare this with our z2, the real part of z2 over here is 4 cos beta. So 4 cos beta will be equal to 2 root 2. That is, from here we get it as 4 cos beta will be equal to 2 root 2. So from this, cos beta will be equal to 2 root 2 over 4. That is root 2 over 2. Which implies beta will be equal to cos inverse of root 2 over 2 So this will be equal to pi over 4. So we have got the value for beta. So substituting the value for beta, Z2 will be equal to 4 cos pi by 4 minus I sin pi by 4. So this will be equal to 4. This I minus we'll take it inside. So cos, when we take both, must have a same thing, and then has to be an addition sign in front for writing it in the polar form. So we'll take this negative inside. For writing a complex number in polar form, we need to have an addition symbol in between. So in order to change that to addition, we take this negative to the argument. When you're taking over here, we have to include a negative sign. So it will be cos of minus pi by 4. Because cos of minus pi by 4 and cos pi by 4 will give you the same answer. You can cross check with your calculator. So plus I sin minus pi by 4. But sine of minus pi by 4 will be equal to minus sine pi by 4. Because of that only, that negative sign we have taken inside. So now our argument of Z1 divided by Z2 will be equal to argument of Z1 minus argument of Z2. Argument of Z1 is minus 5 pi over 4. Then minus pi over 4. So it will give us minus 7 pi over 12. Now modulus of Z1 over Z2 will be equal to 12 over 4. So that will be equal to 3. So now our complex number Z1 over Z2 can be written as 3 into cos of this one minus 7 pi over 12 plus I sin minus 7 pi over 12. So when we represent this in an Argand diagram, we just draw the graph. This is real Z and this is then imaginary Z. So now this is minus 7 pi over 12. This is negative. So if negative, we have to come down. Positive, we go in the anti-clockwise direction. Negative is in the clockwise direction. So we come down. This is pi over 2. So 7 pi over 12 will be over here. From here when you do. So this angle is minus 7 pi over 12. And then the magnitude is 3. So automatically this length has to be a 3. This is the way we represent this complex number in the Argand diagram. Thank you.